Here's a question for you. Have you ever wondered how the late Scott Weiland of Stone Temple Pilots managed to stay off heroin for the 13 years before he died in 2015? Even though buprenorphine, which is an opiate, was found on the tour bus, no opiates were listed in toxicology. Weiland's death was determined to be an accidental overdose, listing cocaine, a form of ecstasy, and alcohol as the substances in his bloodstream, also listing health problems like cardiovascular disease as contributors. But why were opiates not listed? Had he managed to stay off opiates all that time? Let's find out. Welcome to The Radioactive Patient, a music, art, and mental health mashup. I'm Allison Strong, your host. Okay, so back in the 90s when Stone Temple Pilots was at their career peak, their lead singer, Scott Weiland, was like the Robert Downey Jr. of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, especially the drugs part. Weiland was in and out of rehab, in and out of jail, violating his probation. His managers hired sober coaches to sort of tail him and tell him what to do. And he hated all that shit, man. I read his book. It came out in 2011. It was called Not Dead and Not for Sale. And he talked about how he was like, over 10 years, get off my back. Yeah, I drink. Yeah, I smoke cigarettes. Yeah, I do drugs once in a while, but I haven't shot dope, so get off my back. How'd he do it? I think I know the answer. Buprenorphine, or Bupe, the active ingredient in Suboxone, was found on the tour bus, according to a report by Loudwire. Suboxone and Subutex are opiate maintenance drugs, much like methadone is. They control cravings and allow the brain to reset while the person puts their life back together. And when I say reset, let me explain. When a person has long-term exposure to opiates, whether it's painkillers, fentanyl, heroin, whatnot, the brain is overwhelmed with the extra opiates. And so what it does is it prunes, almost like a gardener with a chainsaw. It prunes back the opiate receptors, which is why when you take away the opiates, you feel like hell. It's called post-acute withdrawal syndrome, and it can last for years. Okay, so back to Weiland. Even though Subutex was found on the tour bus, it wasn't listed in toxicology. I have two reasons why that might be. Reason number one, the tour bus wasn't a private tour bus for Scott Weiland alone. It was a communal space shared by Scott Weiland and the Wildabouts, his band at the time. So it's possible that the buprenorphine could have been for another member of the band, but that information was never disclosed. We're left to kind of figure it out. Reason number two, toxicology reports are tricky. A toxicology report will only list substances that are thought to be the substances that caused the death of the human being. So if buprenorphine was being taken therapeutically by Scott Weiland, there was no need to list it, right? Plus, if it was helping him stay off heroin, why stigmatize it by throwing it in a toxicology report? Just even the word toxicology has stigma attached to it, don't you think? Well, anyway, that is this week's edition of The Radioactive Patient. If you liked or disliked the video, please let me know. I actually really want to know what you really think, because you guys teach me a lot, and I'm really in this to learn as much as I can about music, art, and mental health as possible. So until the next time around, ciao for now.